imagine being on a plane hacked by an annoying passenger, more than that, a hacker? Scott Schober, a guy who has talked to that hacker before, is with us. He was also there at the beginning of that infamous Target hack last year. Joining me now from New York. Scott, thanks a lot for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on there, dude.
Well, first things first, I mean, this guy who has been hacking these airplanes at one time, causing an airplane to fly sideways, you know this guy?
Well, I've connected up with him on LinkedIn, Twitter, things of that sort, and just chatted back and forth. Really what he is a researcher, and he's exposing vulnerability. So in one way, it's obviously a positive thing. If it is true, what the reports and what the affidavit had said from the FBI, that he's controlling the engines and causing a plane to accelerate and go upwards or sideways or any of these other allegations, that certainly is not good. And of course, he was on the plane during all of these different times where he actually connected in or hacked in to the in-flight entertainment system. So there's certainly some danger there if he changed or modified things in any way. That's not good.
Yeah,
from,
I guess this
avionics.
is where you kind of that the white hat and black hat hacker kind of come into play. They converge as one here because he probably thinks he's doing some good, and obviously he might be, which is why the FBI hasn't charged him yet, I think, though I think it's a federal crime.
Yeah, this certainly would be a federal crime, and what they can obviously do if they want to go after him, they could say, well, he did tamper with the airplane. He had to remove a cover. He had to connect into an Ethernet port that's underneath the seat, and that's really covered. So you have to kind of pry that out, directly connect into it, into the in-flight entertainment system. A lot of the question surrounds whether or not that truly connects into or parallels the satellite link so they can have Wi-Fi for the entertainment system, and two, if that connects in with the avionics. One would assume that no one would ever allow that path to be connected and would be very secure and independent on the avionics side. And that's where there's a lot of speculation back and forth. And of course, the airlines are denying it, saying there's no way that you could easily connect in there. It's a farce. There's nothing of that sort. But he did actually hack into the in-flight entertainment, I think 15 to 20 times that he admitted, and it's on an affidavit there with the FBI.
Yeah, I'm more curious about the guy sitting next to him. I mean, you sit next to some guy, and he's like sitting there hacking, pouting away with his screwdriver, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Sometimes people seem to be clueless when people are doing this kind of stuff. Anyway, Scott, back to the whole Target hack. And this is where these were definite black hats, and they stole all this information. And you actually help people defend themselves against this. If I'm a Target customer, what's my best form of protection or recourse?
Wow. I mean, obviously, to be completely honest with you, cash is king, I always say. Much safer than credit card. If you do have credit cards, minimize the use of them. Don't use them everywhere, and only have one credit card. That way you can easily monitor it. It's really difficult from a consumer's perspective to know whether or not there's malicious code planted in the point of sale terminal or anything like that. So to be 100% safe, use cash, minimize the number of times you use your credit card so you could easily monitor the statement if you do use a credit card. And what they're migrating to, if you don't have it, if consumers don't have it, they can request it, is having that embedded chip and PIN, which is basically a small microchip embedded inside of each credit card, and that will talk to the terminal there. Some of the newer terminals, I was at Walmart yesterday, they have what's called signature in PIN. So they require a physical signature at the terminal, and you insert your card inside there, and it checks to make sure you have that microchip embedded in your card. The next stage you're going to see everybody adopting is this PIN, where you enter in a physical code, like a debit card if you were taking out money at an ATM machine. And that's another layer of security. All of this is happening. They're racing to do it by October 2015 because the credit card companies are shifting the liability down to the merchants and credit card issuers. So people are frantically spending the money on the retail level to get their systems upgraded and make it more secure for consumers. So it's coming. It's just coming a little slower than we would like.
Yeah, Scott Schober, I guess a lot of consumers are lulled into this sense of complacency because they believe that, well, if there are charges on my card, a lot of credit card companies go ahead and wipe it off if it's determined to be fraud. But still, there are other ancillary issues such as stolen identities and that kind of thing.
Yeah, identity theft is huge. And a lot of this information, they're using like little pieces of a puzzle. Once they have your name, your address, they get your credit card information, your expiration date. They can go online and do social engineering, find other information about you on social, media sites and things like that. Put together those pieces. Now they can perform identity theft or medical identity theft and all these different areas that they're trying to hack people and cause havoc for us.
Scott Schober, one of the good guys. Appreciate you joining us. This is really valuable information, and we appreciate it very much. We'll put your website up there so people have all their access to the information you're imparting. So thank you very much for being with us.
Great. Yeah, thanks for having me on. And also they could go on hackedagain.com. There's a book that's coming out, and it provides a lot of useful tips there that I share with different consumers.
Well, good for you. Really appreciate that book, and we'll make sure we get links on the website to all that info. Thank you very much, Scott.
Great. Hey, thanks again.